Morning everyone, this is Ewan Wannabe with the new review of the BMW R90T Scrambler. I'm going to take you around the bike, have a good look at it, some of the specs and things that I do like and things that I don't like about the bike. Okay, right, the BMW R90T Scrambler is an 1170cc air-cooled flat twin boxer engine machine. Uses the same boxer air-cooled engine as the older GS's rather than the water-cooled ones, which I really like. I love these engines. I've had a lot of GS's in the past, a lot of BMWs, all of them have had the boxer engine and I really like them. The engine itself produces 110 brake horsepower, which is quite adequate for a machine like this. It is a naked bike after all. You're not going to be doing 130, 140 mile an hour on it all the time. It's not built for that. And what it's got, maintenance free shaft drive, rear at the back. You literally do nothing to that at all, just give it a good clean, regular servicing, no chain, no sprockets to worry about. I really like these. And as with a lot of BMWs, you got the single-sided swing arm at the rear, which again I really like the look of. Gearbox, normal gearbox, 6 gears, 1 down 5 up, nothing that you're not used to there. Nice and smooth, even though it's a quite agricultural motorcycle. I think it's quite smooth. Fuel consumption on this booklet says about 44 miles per gallon. So if you ride spiritingly, you can expect to see a bit of a drop in that, but if you ride very conservatively, I'm sure you might be able to get a little bit more. The tank itself holds 18 litres of unleaded fuel, and you also get a 3.5 litre reserve tank. Range on the bike with a full tank indicated by the specs from BMW around 210 miles, which is pretty good. After that 200 miles you want to get off and have a coffee anyway, so I think that's more than adequate. Top speed of the bike, well, this is a bit contentious. Again, BMW say the top speed of the bike is 124 miles an hour. I can tell you that on a private closed road this bike does over 130 miles an hour without any real problem, other than the wind blasting your face driving a naked bike at that speed. At the front you have got a 19-inch wheel with the twin discs at the front, very good stopping power. These have got Brembo brakes, very high quality, and do the job fantastically. Moving on to the rear, you've got a 17-inch rear wheel with this a single brake disc, but more than adequate. Suspension, preload adjustable, rebound with one of those hook wrenches. It's not done automatically, there's no trickery, you've got to do it by hand. And at the front you've just got the standard telescopic forks. Dry weight of the bike comes in at 220 kilos. Not too heavy, but it's not a lightweight bike by any stretch of the imagination, but it is a very cool machine. Seat height of 820 millimeters. I'm 6'2", and I've got no issues with it. I can easily plant my feet on the floor, which I can with most bikes, to be fair, but it's not too high at all, and I quite like the riding position. The riding position is a bit of a strange one. The pegs are reasonably straight down, so you think it's going to be like a normal road bike, normal naked bike, but for someone of my height, the legs are quite high up, knees are quite high up, in a slightly racier riding position, which, to be honest, I don't mind. The bars are very, very wide. I like that. Hence the Scrambler name. It's got the Scrambler bars on it. I think it's very cool indeed. Now, the bike itself doesn't come with an awful lot of extras, which is very strange for BMW, but I actually quite like it. All you've got up front is the very simple speedo. There's no rev counter, there's no gear selector, there's no temperature gauge, nothing. There's not even a fuel gauge. What you do get though is when you hit the reserve, it does flash up and tell you, and with that you've got about 30 miles or so to do. Now, I quite like the fact that it's got nothing on it, which does mean there's less to go wrong. As I said, it's called the Scrambler. Now, as this is the Scrambler, this has got the spoked wheels with the knobbly tyres on. These are an option, or you can choose what you have when you buy it, if you buy it brand new. So you can have just the forged wheels with a more road biased tyres on them, but it's called a Scrambler, so I think if you buy one of these and put road tyres on it, you might as well have bought another R90 from the range, which I'll talk about later. It is a Scrambler, knobbly tyres. Knobbly tyres are fine. I picked this up earlier in the week, and it was absolutely torrential raining, and it was a little bit twitchy at times, especially on roundabouts, white lines, etc., trying to avoid them. However, that could have been just the fact that I'm not used to knobbly tyres, but you haven't got as much contact points, obviously. But in the dry today, like I said, I've done over 100 miles, and I've loved every minute of it. It has heated grips, which come as standard. So if I go around this side, it's got a steering damper, which I think you do need on this bike actually. It's a very, very heavy steering bike. It's a bike that you do have to ride. You're not just along for the ride, you're actually hustling the bike around a lot, and I quite like that. Tips in very easy. You do feel yourself putting a lot more input into the corners. I found myself dropping the elbows and doing some counter steering, and having to need to do so if I'm at any kind of normal speed, at any kind of high speed, should I say. What this has got as well, it's got the Aquaprovic can. I think that looks really, really, really cool. To get on all different kind of roads today, been on dual carriageways, motorways, country roads. I've not took it off-road in any way, shape or form, and I don't intend to. I don't think most people will take these off-road. It is a Scrambler, but you're not going to take a 1200cc flat twin BMW that weighs 220 kilos off-road. If you want to do scrambling, you get a different bike. This is just a cool looking bike. It's joined the retro phase that seems to be in the UK with the Triumph Scramblers, Royal Enfields, etc, etc. The retro phase is huge in the UK at the moment. As I said, no rider aids, but that's what you get, and I like that. The good thing that you can do about these bikes is you can modify them hugely. BMWs like this, there is a plethora of parts and add-ons and extras and ways that you can customise it to your own taste. There are some very, very cool special ones going about the place at the moment. Most dealerships will have at least one special of the range in there, but this is the bog standard one. Right, price of the bike, brand new, is £11,500 at its time. And that's July 2019. That's 11,500 new as it sits just there, with the knobbly tyres and with the spoked alloys, heated grips, steering damper and Aquaprovic system on it. I've managed to find a demo which is still 2019 with 2,000 miles on it for for £10,800, and the cheapest I can find second hand on the private market is 8,200. So they're still holding the price. BMWs always do, but you do get what you pay for. I really like it. Right, the lights. I love the looks, I love the style, I love the engine. I'm a big fan of the GS Boxer engine. I do like the wide bars, the fact that it's a stripped down machine, it's just you and the bike, no gizmos, nothing. It is a very engaging ride. As I said, you do have to ride the bike, you do have to keep on top of it all the time, lots of input into the steering, and it is fast enough. No problem with motorway speeds. You could tour on it if you wanted to. I'm not sure it would be overly comfortable over hundreds of miles with a very flat bench style seat here, but I'd do a couple of days on it, no problem, perhaps even 5 days, take it over to France, something like that. I can imagine that'd be very good fun. Things I don't like about it, well, there aren't many. Things that I do miss, and I don't think it would change the characteristics of the bike at all really. I would like a fuel gauge. No one likes the risk of running out of fuel, so a fuel gauge, nice and simple to do, wouldn't cost much. Same with the gear indicator. BMW engines are really cool, and you can pull off in any gear if you really wanted to, so knowing what gear you're in would be a little bit useful, but that could be just me being a bit lazy. The knobbly tyres, yeah, they do definitely suit the bike. As I said, it is a Scrambler, so that's why it's got the knobbly tyres. I wouldn't have one for the road with knobbly tyres personally. I like my riding to be a bit quicker than what knobbly tyres will make me feel comfortable at. So if I did get one of these, I would have the spoked wheels, but I'd have the more road biased tyres rather than this one. Pillion capacity. You see on the back there is a room for a pillion. You do have the pegs, however there are no grab handles, so wouldn't really class this up for a 2-up machine over any kind of distance really, but again, that's not really what this bike was designed for. That's about it. Oh, the buffeting. You do get some buffeting at speed on this bike. It is a naked bike after all. I've definitely had worse, but I've definitely had better. Could you put a little screen on it? Would it spoil the look of it? Probably so. So I can understand why they don't. I'm sure you can get one aftermarket if you really wanted to, but personally I think that will spoil the aesthetics of the bike itself. Right, that's just about it. I'll just tell you very quickly about the other range of the BMW R90s. You have the BMW Basic R90, which is just a stripped down version, just a basic road bike, but very capable, very nice. One up from that, you've got the R90 Sport, which is very cool looking, a bit sportier, a few more toys to play with, 100% road bias, same as the Basic R90. You've got the Urban GS in the famous red, white and blue colours, very off-road orientated, very retro looking. It does look like something out of the 70s, but I think it's a very cool looking bike. I would like to have a go on one actually. You've got the R90 Pure, which is probably the one that gets the most modifications on it privately. You see some very cool stripped down looking ones with all different extras on it, which look really cool. And finally, my favourite is the BMW R90 Racer, which is the cafe racer version of the R90T. Looks fantastic in the white with the red and blue stripes, very retro, very cool. I would be very tempted for one of those. Right, that's it I think. Thank you for watching, and ride safe everyone.